Thank you for joining us today at Miniature Wargaming Labs. Today we'll be painting a Death Korps of Krieg model from the new Kill Team Octarius box set. So these are the first time Death Korps has been in plastic, and they are beautiful models, really come together. And so instead of going for the standard French World War I blue, I went more for the green that you would see on old Jaeger and Chasseurs units to show that they're light force skirmishers, light infantry. But, so to get started on this guy, primed him standard Mechanicus gray. Then we'll be using Games Workshop's Loren forest, Skarsnik green, Ionrach skin, Mournfang brown, Zhandri dust, and then we'll be using some Army Painter gunmetal and shining silver, matte black, ultramarine blue, electric blue, and then to do the base we'll be using some Stirland Mud with Necromancer Cloak, and at one stage we're going to douse this guy in Games Workshop's Nuln Oil. So let's go ahead and get started. Now you can see to start I primed him with Citadel's standard Mechanicus gray. This is a good mid-range tone. Now when you get the Death Korps of Krieg guys and you look in the Octarius manual, let's get that out here. So there's the Octarius. You'll see two color palettes. One where it's green, that's the one we're aiming for, and one just blue. This is more akin to what you saw in some of the French soldiers in World War I, but I like green because it contrasts with the black base a little bit more. So we're going to go ahead and get started. So the first color I'm going to use is Citadel's Loren forest. Gave this a good shake here. And so I'm going to just get one of the small layer brushes here. And I'm just going to quickly hit the jacket. This is their trench coat for the trenches. At this stage, you don't have to be that neat. I slopped on the brown because at this stage I don't need to be careful. Next we'll use some Mournfang brown, and we're going to do some of the webbing gear and boots. So get the boots here. Now's the point I want to be a little more careful. So we're going to do the rifle butt, since the artwork shows that these things are actually wood. We're going to do the belt. And do the backpack. I also want, I'll just start spinning him around, getting the parts I want. I also want to do his gloves. Now I'm going to put on some Stirland Mud since I've got the boots done. And for that I actually have a little tool. No toothpick would work. We're just going to smear glops on here and push them around. Not too worried about getting it on the boots. Now I'm going to take some Ionrach skin here. And there's only a couple spots. So these little wraps around his shins, his booties, if I'm pronouncing that right. And then I want to do what would be the cloth section of his gas mask. Now I'm going to use some Necromancer Cloak, and we're going to color the base here. Just cover up that brown. Now I'm going to take some matte black from Army Painter, because I am out of Abaddon black from Games Workshop. So I won't be able to keep it themed here. But what we're going to do is hit shoulder pad pauldrons, bayonet case, a lot of the las rifle is going to be black here. Most of the casing. And also the rebreather hose. It'll be tricky to get in it. Oh, that's right. I also wanted to do this little bedroll, whatever it is down here. Now I'm going to paint some gunmetal from Army Painter. Lead Belcher would also work. You have it. And so I'm going to get his buckle here. The charger on his respirator. So now on his weapon system, we'll do magazine. Do select portions of the actual barrel. There's a little skull right there. I also want to get Sequilla. And you'll notice his chest pack. There's actually some type of system in there. then there's also the butt of his rifle. We're going to do, now this is a two-part process. It's hard to see. You have the model. There's actually, in his gas mask, a little metal rim. So what we're going to do, just paint from the outside in. So that will capture the metal rim, and then later on we'll go paint in the optic glass. And then what else can we paint silver here? Let's do the lip of its bayonet sheath. And then do the Aquila back here. And we've got some little buckles. Get the other side of the rifle barrel. I believe he also has little buttons on the jacket. I'm going to go ahead and touch those. Alright, now we're ready to work on the lenses of his eye here. So for that I picked Ultramarine blue. Not too dark, not too bright. And I just want a touch of paint. I want to stay inside the silver that I put in there. So we're just going to let the paint flow off the brush. Into the eye sockets. A very careful process. Take your time. Get a magnifying glass, because as you get older, this gets harder. Alright, so blue eyes. Excellent. Alright, now that we've got the basics of our guy painted, we're going to add to him a little depth here. And so I'm just going to take some Nuln Oil or liquid talent in a bottle. That'll go off camera. Now let's slop some Nuln Oil on here. Now that the wash is finished, you might look at this and say, you know, this might be a good place to stop. And that wouldn't be a bad idea. But we'll do a little bit more detail work. So I'm going to take some Skarsnik green, shake it up, because it hasn't been shaken in a while. Why isn't it? Okay, and what we're going to do is just going to put some little highlights. Not too much paint on the brush. And so, since these are Death Korps of Krieg and they have like a World War I look to them, I'm going to call them my Chasseurs or my Jaegers for hunter. So these will be my skirmishers. You can see right there by adding that little touch. Makes it pop out a little bit more. So we just trace along these raised lines. The camera would focus. And we'll do that all over, including the helmet. We want to put more of these at the top when we're looking down. I mean, it looks like light's coming down on them. Now I like how the green's looking. Now I want to pop the black up a little bit. So I'm going to take some Army Painter Ash Gray. Now any just lighter Necromancer cloak would work. I've got a brush that I beat to heck, and I've kind of turned it into a poor little dry brush. So we're going to get that. And we're going to get little greeblings there. Now that we have that done, I'm going to go back to my little brush here. I'm just going to take a couple strokes and we'll just do some of the black. Just highlight some of these raised edges here. So the detail can come off a little bit. The trigger guard, receiver. Alright, now I'll do bayonet. This little black case. Let's do the shoulder pads. There we go. Now we got the black. Now the next thing we want to do is the brown. And I'm going to take some Zhandri dust. And just do some highlights around here. We'll go on the gloves. The gloves have a reinforced backing, so I'm going to point that out. Get the little fingers here. Shoes. Alright, now let's go back to our Ionrach. I don't want to go lighter color or white. I still want to make it look like worn cloth. We're just going to need a touch of this. Just highlight these folds in the bedroll. Let's do some of the lines around the mask. And then the little pooties. Alright, now we're almost done here. I'm going to take some shining silver, and I've already put some in my palette. So I'm just going to touch the little corners. Little spots all around. So just put little spots of light. I got the little Aquila. Make that pop back up a little bit more. And let's see, go back here. Alright, where else do we got some silver? Oh, it's filter. Alright, now I got that. Let's go ahead and get some electric blue. We only need a touch of this. What I'm going to do, don't need much on my brush, but I'm just going to draw like a straight line across the top of the optic, which I fat fingered there. There we go, just a little dot of blue. Give a little depth to his eyes, which you can't even see on this camera. But, you know, while I'm here, something you notice on some of the other ones is that they show chipping. So I won't put as much as they have, but I'll just show a couple spots. Make it look like his shoulder pad's a little dinged up. Alright. Then just make it look like a scratch there. Ding there. Alright. We're going to call it a day. We are going to call it a day on this guy. So you can see, very well done model. Put as much detail or as little as you want. Maybe I'll put a little bit more silver right here. And even after you seal these, you can come back to them, punch them up a little bit. There. Excellent. Very happy with this guy. So this will be my Death Korps of Krieg Jaegers or Chasseurs. Excellent. Well, thank you for joining us. Ooh, almost forgot the belt buckle. Thank you for joining us at Miniature Wargaming Labs, and we'll see you next time.